All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to unpack a seriously powerful idea from the 17th century philosopher Blaise Pascal. And believe it or not, it's all captured in just one single brilliant sentence. It's an idea that, honestly, explains so much about the anxieties we all feel today.
It all kicks off with a question I'm pretty sure we've all asked ourselves. Why is it so easy to feel unhappy, even when, on paper, everything is going great? You know the feeling, right? You get the promotion, you're on that amazing vacation, you finally buy that thing you wanted, and yet there's this weird, nagging sense of dissatisfaction. Well, Pascal figured out why this happens almost 400 years ago.
So, where does he start? Well, he zooms in on something we all do, every single day, often without even realizing it. He looks at our painful comparisons. Now, to really pinpoint what's going on, Pascal uses this really stark example. Using the language of his time, he asks, hey, why does a fool bother us so much more than a person with a physical impairment? And his answer is just brilliant. It's because the person with the physical impairment acknowledges a shared reality. We walk, they don't. But the fool attacks our whole reality. They say that we're the silly ones, that our way of thinking, our choices, are just plain wrong. And that is the key takeaway here. Our misery isn't really about facts on the ground. It's not about who has more money or who's objectively better. The pain comes from the deep-seated anxiety that our own choices, the very things that make us who we are, might be completely off base. It's that challenge to our personal judgment that really stings. But to truly understand why this hurts so much, Pascal says we need to step back. And I mean way back. He asks us to see where we stand between what he calls the two infinites. He invites us to do this incredible mental exercise, like a cosmic zoom out. He says, first, you've got to stop looking at all the little everyday things and anxieties right in front of you. Instead, look up. Contemplate the sheer scale and majesty of nature itself. And as we keep pulling back in our minds, our entire planet, our home, it just starts to shrink. Suddenly, it's nothing more than a tiny little dot, completely lost in the enormous path of the sun. And then comes the final, truly mind-bending step. That whole solar system, that massive circle, is itself just a tiny, imperceptible speck in the true vastness of the universe. A universe he describes as an infinite sphere where the center is everywhere and the edge is nowhere. You feeling small yet? Yeah, me too. And this perfectly sets up our bizarre position in the cosmos. We are, in Pascal's amazing phrase, the mean between nothing and everything. Think about it. Compared to an atom, you're an entire universe. You're an all. But compared to the infinite universe, you're a nothing. We are just stuck, suspended right in the middle of these two extremes. It's from this huge cosmic perspective that Pascal finally reveals the real source of our self-inflicted pain. He exposes what you could call the tyranny of trifles. Okay, so listen up, because this right here, this is the core of this whole explainer. When you're looking from the perspective of infinity, all the finite stuff, your job, my car, their vacation, that argument you had, it's all basically equal. It's all just dust. So Pascal says there's literally no logical reason to fixate our minds on one of these tiny finite details more than any other. And yet, what do? We do it all day long. And this is the punchline. The only comparisons that cause us any pain are the ones we choose to make between ourselves and other tiny, finite things. We completely ignore the infinite, we laser focus on the trivial, and in doing so, we literally manufacture our own unhappiness. It's a choice. But let's be real. Being confronted with our cosmic smallness, with that quiet terror of just existing, it's not easy. It's actually pretty unbearable. So what do? According to Pascal, we desperately seek an escape from that misery. Pascal has a name for this escape: diversion. And he doesn't just mean having a bit of fun. He means the frantic, non-stop need to be busy, to fill every single second with some kind of activity. And why? To avoid the crushing silence of just sitting in a room alone and actually thinking about our condition. It's why he famously wrote that all of humanity's problems come from our inability to just sit quietly in a room. And look, this is not some new problem. Pascal's examples might sound a little old-fashioned, chasing a hare, but the underlying principle is exactly the same. Whether it's chasing a promotion, endlessly scrolling a social media feed, or just looking for gossip and games. It's all the same thing. It's a frantic attempt to distract ourselves from the really big questions.
So ultimately, we're left with a choice between two very different ways of being. On one side, you can live trapped in the finite. That means constant comparison, a deep fear of quiet, and jumping from one diversion to the next to feed your pride. Or you can try to grasp the infinite. And that path leads to humility, a real awareness of our place in the universe, and a genuine search for meaning beyond all the trivial stuff.
This final quote just perfectly captures how absurd it is to be trapped in the finite. Pascal completely nails the ridiculous contradiction in our vanity. We have this grand, presumptuous dream of being known by the entire world forever, and yet our fragile little ego is totally satisfied if just 5 or 6 of our neighbors think we're doing okay. It's a cosmic ambition with a comically small-town focus.
Which brings us right back to that core idea. And it leaves us with a direct challenge. Pascal has shown us the game. He's pulled back the curtain on how we create our own pain by ignoring the infinite and obsessing over the finite. So the only real question left for each of us is this: what are you fixing your imagination on?